Well, a lot of experts have been concerned that it dangerously expands presidential immunity. Of course, that will be seen. We'll have to wait to see when the courts test that if this goes any further, if any presidents are again alleged to have broken the law or in situations such as this. But in the case of former President Trump's alleged efforts to overturn the election, Jack Smith is fashioning this as an untainted indictment, like a whole new, as you described it, sort of a whole new second bite at the apple, second chance. Is this a matter of semantics, or are we just going to have to wait and see what Judge Chutkan says? Of course, what Trump's team is going to say about this, and ultimately, this is going to go back up on appeal. Is that what we can expect to happen next?
So as of tomorrow, the parties have been ordered to appear in front of Honorable Judge Chutkan to give essentially a briefing schedule or give an outline of what they're going to do. I suspect that former President Trump's defense team is going to come out and say, we would like to file papers to have this indictment dismissed for a litany of reasons, namely the Supreme Court's decision. And the judge wants to get a sense of, well, how are the parties going to schedule this and what are they going to do? One thing that we know for certain is that there is an extremely low to no likelihood whatsoever that this case would go to trial before the election. I think the indictment was filed about 69 or 70 days out before November 5th. So it is highly unlikely that we'll reach any sort of trial. I think you hit the nail on the head. We're going to see some briefing. This may be a situation where there is a dismissal. This may be a situation where there's an appeal by Trump's team if the indictment is going to move forward to invoke the Supreme Court's decision. Right now, the parties will appear in front of the judge and lay out their position and what they intend to do. And we'll know that as soon as tomorrow. But the main takeaway is there isn't a risk of a trial for former President Trump's defense team to occur before the November 5th election.
And you just referenced the other case, which likely no trial happening in any of the cases currently pending against him. And he has several still outstanding, federal and state, in Georgia. But you referenced the other case in the Southern District of Florida, before Judge Aileen Cannon. And she has challenged the existence of Jack Smith at all as special counsel, that he was improvidently appointed. He, this week as well, filed an appeal with the 11th Circuit, protesting against that, saying that, of course, he should be the special counsel on this case. Special counsel has been, something that has been utilized for decades. What are your thoughts about the 11th Circuit's decision on that? Of course, the timeline on when they would even decide. But do you think that his arguments hold weight, or that Judge Cannon may have been correct in her decision dismissing that case completely because of a special counsel being appointed in the wrong way, according to her?
Sure. I think Judge Cannon looked at the law maybe in a literal or more narrow way, saying that there's really not the statutory authority to appoint Jack Smith as special counsel, that the Attorney General does not have the authority to do that. I think Jack Smith is relying more on precedent, on, for lack of a better word, colloquial precedent, saying that this has occurred before, this is proper. The Attorney General, of course, has the power to do that. We've seen special counsels get appointed throughout American history. We have a close example in the Hunter Biden case where there was special counsel appointed, and the authority of that special counsel or that appointment was not challenged. Here, Judge Cannon did potentially go out on a limb to make that decision, but that decision now from a federal judge, he has to say that Jack Smith has to say that Judge Cannon erred, that misapplied the law. It's a very high standard. And if Judge Cannon had a firm basis for that in the opinion, it's not an easy argument to make. It is a legal argument to make. But Jack Smith is clearly trying to save what he has left of these cases and try to get them back on track, because really they've both been derailed. And former President Trump's defense team has done an extraordinary job of, one, not only delaying these trials. I mean, remember, a year ago, everything was on the fast track to get done before the election in a timely fashion. They have been delayed, and the legal challenges have been extremely effective in getting these cases essentially dismissed and out of the public view. Here we are again about 60 some odd days out from the election, and they're coming back into focus as Jack Smith tries to salvage them.
Yes, Trump has benefited from these delays. He'll continue to benefit from these delays, and of course, Judge Aileen Cannon was a Trump appointee, and the super majority of conservatives that he has on the Supreme Court he's also benefited from a number of rulings that have at the minimum served to delay the case to potentially well after the election.